So first thing I want to talk about is just what is Google My Business and how do you set up a Google My Business listing and is it right for a real estate agent? So the background on Google My Business, I think people remember Google had a product called, there was a different sort of social media product that they, what was it called, Ed? What, Ed? Google Plus. I think it was called Google Plus, something like that. Anyway, it was a complete failure, and then Google really diverted their attention to the GMB, the Google My Business listing page, and that's really where Google has got a lot of focus. The whole team at Google that are evolving Google My Business. And why is it really important? I'm going to show you in a minute, but it's really important that when someone searches for you as an agent, your Google My Business listing comes up with all of your Google reviews and posts and contact information and all that sort of stuff. And if you don't have a Google My Business listing, it just won't be there. You're missing all of that great opportunity to get those reviews. We believe Google reviews are really important, and I'm going to talk about that. That's why we syndicate into Google reviews. A lot of people think that an individual agent is not allowed to set up a Google My Business listing, that it's only for the agency. That is not true. I'm going to show you in Google's T's and C's that there is a carve out for agents and doctors and lawyers and specific groups that are allowed to have their own Google My Business page. So I just want to show you an example here of an agent who's got a Google My Business listing compared to an agent who doesn't. So let me share my screen. Share. So I hope everyone can see that. If you can't see that, I'm sure someone will let me know. There we go. So as you can see here, I've just typed in Edward Hobbs reviews. All of his Rate My Agent reviews are coming up the top here. So he's got, a heap of reviews, 264 reviews. But you can also see over here, this is his own Google My Business listing. It specifically relates to Edward Hobbs. So when I type in Edward Hobbs reviews or just Edward Hobbs, his Google My Business listing comes up here as well. If I type in Naira Ewings here, and Naira's again got a heap of Rate My Agent reviews, 449 reviews, but you can see here there's all that blank space. She's missing that opportunity. Naira, I don't know if you're watching. Thanks for supporting Rate My Agent. I know you love it and you're an award winner. But there's a great opportunity here to fill out that blank space, that white space on the Google search. When someone types in your name as an agent, you really want to give them as much information as possible. You want to be demonstrating everything that you can. So there's a really clear difference between an agent who does have a Google My Business listing compared to an agent who doesn't have a Google My Business listing. So really important. Why would you set up one of these Google My Business listings? It's completely free. Like, Google's not charging anything for these things. And it doesn't mean that I assume that Google may well try and monetize in the future. Unlikely that they'll try and monetize just the setup of the listing. They may try to monetize other areas, and we're not 100% sure as to what they'll do there. But at this stage, it's completely free to set up. As I said before, we get a lot of questions from agents who say, are we allowed to set up a Google My Business listing? Now, your relationship with your agency, we don't get involved in that. That's really a discussion between you and your agency itself. But in terms of Google and Google's requirements, I'm just here on the Google My Business help page, and I'm going to show you this little button here that says, or this little menu item here that says individual practitioners. And if I click on that, it talks about who an individual practitioner is: doctors, lawyers, real estate agents. So what it's saying here is that if you're a public facing, here it says you operate in a public facing role, as a doctor does, as a lawyer does, as a real estate agent does, then you are able to set up your own Google My Business listing. So that's really important. It's very clear, the direction from Google, that you are not breaking Google's T's and C's as we understand it from this help article, that you are allowed to set up a Google My Business